those throttles a few more times, plunk the transmission down into low gear, and stare at that gate. The last chances are underway, and already a rider down. He didn't go 25 yards. Number 70 on the Honda, Jeffrey Pastana. He's getting up with a little bit of help from the official, and the rest of them string out around the racetrack. All right, Pastana is away. The second time, Brock, that he's fallen today. He's going to be a sore young man in the morning.
Yeah, just some days we don't have any luck at all, as we got another couple of riders down here. Looks like one of them is hurting a little bit. So we're going to slow things down here for a minute. We'll be right back.
We're back at Daytona. Just seconds ago, the start of the last chance qualifier, we saw this action. The rider of number 70, Jeffrey Pastana. Well, we really don't know quite what happened. He apparently tried to use the bike next to him as his very own kickstand, and that just didn't work. He was down for the second time today, but he did get back up, and he shook it off, as they usually do. But then we had a few more go down as well, right, Brock Yates?
Oh, yeah, we sure did. 171, Junior Jackson, he goes down for the second time today as they head down into that hairpin, along with Chad Peterson, is one of the better riders in this field. And so they were both down and aching a little bit, but got back up and carried on.
Well, here is our leader, number 63, Mike Treadwell, with 49, Jeff DeMint in second. Remember, DeMint just missed going to the main event out of that second heat. If he's going to continue today, he's got to be in the top 4 after 4 laps. And he's already getting pressure from 9-11, Jimmy Eichel. That is Eichel coming up to challenge 49, Jeff DeMint, for that second position.
So they get through the whoops in pretty good shape, as here comes your leader, Treadwell. And he's opened out a little bit on DeMint. And Treadwell obviously trying to hold on to that lead. He's only got 4 laps to run here, and that put him into the main event. And that's the object of all these guys. Remember, only 4 of them will transfer, so the major stakes in the hands of these first 3 riders, and of course the guys right behind him, and that is 241. He is in the transfer spot at this particular moment. That's Todd Bennick, and remember, he finished 10th. Look at this wheel stand here through the whoops by number 83, Pat Barton. What a ride, but still, though, Bennick keeps out in front on the 241, holds off Bennick for a while anyway.
Well, some of these guys are trying to avoid the rough stuff by getting off in the grass along where we saw that wheel stand being done. I think the officials will put a stop to that there pretty quick. And, you know, they may go out and fix some of the turns and the berm, but they don't mess with that rough stuff. It just gets rougher as the day goes on.
Here is Pat Barton really having a go at Todd Bennick for that number 4 spot. Remember now, that's the transfer position, so a lot at stake here. Pat Barton really riding hard. He gets wide, though, and loses some ground to Bennick. And Bennick, as I said earlier, almost made the feature without having to ride this thing. And look at that, Barton bobbled there, trying to get around Bennick. So as they do a little styling over the big jump here right in front of our cameras, it is still Todd Bennick on 241 holding on to that 4th spot.
And here is our leader. This is Mike Treadwell, number 63, and trying to jump right down his throat is 49, Jeff DeMint. Jimmy Eichel still back there in 3rd, surviving on that 9-11.
So, as the leader, Treadwell, opens out a little bit, it looked like the second place rider, Jeff Bennett, just bobbled for a moment in that coming out of that hairpin, and that slowed him up just a little bit.
But look at this. Here comes Jeff DeMint. That's the 49 bike, trying to take the measure of 63. Mike Treadwell on the jump. Head on, side by side. Left hand off the grip for some reason, but he makes that pass as if to say, see ya, Charlie.
I don't know what that was all about. He certainly wasn't trying to wipe his face shield, I don't think. What he was doing, maybe he was waving a bug away or something, but it was unbelievable. To one-hand your way over a big jump and take the lead at the same time is a pretty good show for Jeff DeMint.
Absolutely incredible. You would think after doing this for a couple of years, these guys, here he did it again. He might have a loose shield or something there, Brock.
It could be, yeah. He's trying to, but that's a weird place to try to fix it, but I guess there isn't any good place to try to take your hands off the handlebars on this course.
Well, Todd Bennick, 241, he found a good place to pass 9-11 Jimmy Eichel. He has now moved into that 3rd position. And let's remember, 4th is the final transfer spot, and right now that is Eichel.
And the white flag is out. We got one more lap, about 3/4 of a mile for these riders to make or break what they're going to do. Most of them will be finished for the day, but 4 of them will move on to the main event.
Well, one of these three won't go to that main event. Which one will it be? Well, in third is 241 Todd Bennett. Behind him, Jimmy Eichel in fourth on 911. And Pat Barton, number 83, trying to make it to the main event. He's got to get around Eichel to do it.
But suddenly, Eichel makes a move around Bennick, and Bennick's on the bubble now because he has fallen back, and there is Barton trying to move around Bennick on 241. So Jimmy Eichel puts a little cushion on in his effort to get into the main, but don't give up because Bennick and Barton are right on his rear fender.
And they have the most to win or lose in this last chance qualifier right now. Pat Barton, number 83, is running as hard as he possibly can. There's got to be a fatigue factor. Let's remember they've already ridden one heat race unsuccessfully.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, and that killed him. He got hung up, making that right-hander around the barrier, and that may have prevented him from racing in the main event. All right, here come our leaders heading for the checkered flag. Number 49, Jeff DeMint, and number 63, Mike Treadwell.
And look at this. Bennick has moved right up on Jimmy Eichel again in that battle for the third spot.
But what really counts here is can 83 Pat Barton move up one more spot, and it looks to be awfully difficult. That one little miscue may have just killed his afternoon. Nope, he cannot do it. All right, so Jeff DeMint takes the checkered flag. He wins it, followed by Mike Treadwell. Pat Barton, number 83, unfortunately will not be in the program. Stay with us. We'll be back with the 125 main event. Back here at Daytona. And the results are in for the last chance qualifier. Jeff DeMint won it. Mike Treadwell second. Jimmy Eichel, Todd Bennett. They'll all go to the main event. Pat Barton, he can go back to his van and take a well-deserved rest. Brock?
Well, Jeff, it's kind of doing it the hard way, but a win is a win and moves you into the main. That's what counts.
Yes, sir. It was a really tough, challenging course that Gary Bailey built here at Daytona. Been off for 4 weeks with a knee injury. It's still around 60%. Unfortunately for me, everything clicked for me in the last chance, and I got the win.
Jeff, with a knee being as bad as it is, this is going to be a tough ride for you coming up.
It will be very tough. The 15-lap main event, not only on your physical being, but, you know, mentally it wears you out because this track is challenging. I feel that I should do well as long as I just try to keep my knee from twisting. Like I said, it's around 60%, so I really have to kind of not only go for the front, but yet make sure that I maintain and not injure it, and so I can go ahead and get to a full 100%.
Well, you be careful now, and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Steve?
Jimmy, all you wanted to do at that point was just hang on to third. That is what really mattered.
Yeah, I got a good start. I ended up getting a hole shot, and I made a couple mistakes in the first few corners, and a couple guys got around me, and once I seen that, I knew I had to get in the top four. And my nerves, you know, I don't normally pump up like that, but it was either top four or go home, and I just rode kind of tight. Not real aggressive and not the way I'm used to riding, but I hope I can come back in the main and, you know.
You won't have the greatest starting position on the gate. How do you make up for that?
Well, I got a real fast bike, I think. That's how I'm going to make up for that. I got Princeton Honda Pro Circuit, you know. They did a great job on my bike, and I'm just hoping I can come out, you know, pretty decent. And it's a long race. I'll steadily move my way up because I'm in pretty good physical shape.
All right, see you then.
Thank you.
Brock?
You're in the main. That's what counts.
Yeah, I got a bad start in my heat race and had to work up from way behind, and I knew if I could just get a good start, I could make it in the main no problem, so I made it in, and that's all. I'm happy about it.
This little deal, you got to be real careful. You can't, any little bobble and you're out of it.
Yeah, if you make one mistake, you can pretty much call it a day and watch the main event, so.
Yeah, that's no good. Well, good luck. Go get him in the main.
Thank you.
Okay. Steve?
As young Mr. Treadwell heads on over to the gate, we're already there. You're looking at John Dowd, number 27. He has the fourth starting position. Not too bad. One better, though, is 597, Davey Yazik. He has the third starting spot. And next to him will be just one of the superstar riders today, Ezra Luss, number 43. He's in that second spot. And Brock, kind of, as you said before, on the pole is
Doug Henry on that Honda. And Doug, remember, won the first heat, and then Ezra came back to win the second one. So I would say that these two kids, Doug and Ezra, are going to be the players that we're going to have to watch, certainly in the opening lap, because they definitely are we're the strongest riders in the first two heats, no question.
Well, here we've got all the strongest riders with the first two heats, guys that have not raced each other yet today, gathered together for the main event. Emotions are high. nerves are right up there as well. As you see everybody fidgeting around, trying to make sure that helmet strap is tight, that the gloves are comfortable, rocking back and forth, making sure that clutch is free. Only moments before the start, you just saw it. They click it down into low gear. This should be a spectacular start, Brock.
And the gate is down, and there they go, weaving down into that tight first set of whoops, and it is a good start. Everybody got through that narrowing of their course and down into the tight stuff in good shape. So we're off to a good start here, and the leader is, at this particular point, Mike Brown on the 54 Honda.
I don't know how long he's going to enjoy that position, though, because here comes another Honda, number 16, Doug Henry. Henry makes the pass for the lead. Yes, he does, and thunders into the rough stuff, and now over the double jumps.
There is your leader now. That is Doug Henry, who immediately takes command of this race. Just snatched it away with relative ease, really, from Mike Brown, as the leaders begin to string out and move away from the rest of the field.
Okay, and with that, let's have a look at the leaders. There they are, 16, Doug Henry, 54, Mike Brown, intervaling back to 43, Ezra Lusk in third, 121, Jason Edwards, and 597, Davey Yazek, all really fighting for that third spot.
No question about it, as our leader here in the 16 just opening out now. Doug Henry is broken away from the field and is just charging around this course as the battle continues for that third spot as Ezra Lusk holds on to it, but he's got a bunch of angry bees right behind him, chasing him down. And there is Mike Brown in the 54. He still holds on to second place. There comes your third place rider, Ezra Lusk.
Ezra Lusk, that well-spoken young man that I talked to after his second heat victory. Oh, be a little bobble right there. Good riding on his part, though. Rather than make contact, he just kind of parked the bike, got back in the throttle, and I'll tell you, Mr. Brown's in trouble here.
Well, he would have gotten underneath him, I think, in that corner, and he had to just get way out of the throttle to slow down, or else he would have whacked Mike Brown. But there he goes, right past into second spot. So the two men that we thought would be the contenders and players are now riding in first and second. Doug Henry out front, Ezra Lusk well back, though, because he had a good struggle with Mike Brown, and I think that gave Doug Henry a good chance to just break loose from the field. So right now it's up to Ezra Lusk to see if they can reel in the leader.
And boy, that is going to be tough. Doug Henry got out front early on, about half of one lap, has no traffic in front of him, and he is just smoking him here.
That is 29 right there, trying to get by. Tim Ferry trying to get by Mike Brown. And in fact, he does. So, almost. Mike Brown just about dumped it there coming off that big jump. As Tim Ferry, remember, Ferry led the first heat for quite a while, and then they spilled and came down and managed to finish in fifth spot. But I'm sure Tim Ferry very much like to get some retribution on the rest of the field here and get up among the leaders.
Well, Mike Brown, who led for just a few seconds at the top of this race, is now getting even more pressure. This time from 597, Davey Yazek challenging that 54 bike for the fourth position, and he passes him in midair.
Well, suddenly Mike Brown is falling way back after he got a great start. But the field begins to sort itself out here, and it may be that Mike Brown just doesn't have the power today to stay up with the faster guys.
But I tell you, all in all, you know, if you want to simulate this kind of thing, just climb in your clothes dryer and put it on high for about 20 minutes. You'll have some idea what these guys through in the course of 15 laps. Just incredible body-punishing sport. There is your leader. That's the man who's got a huge, huge lead. That is Doug.
He looks like he's turning this thing into a flat track sprint race. He's running around through these whoops and jumps with such ease. So Doug Henry takes command, but we've got a long way to go, so stick with us. We'll be back at Daytona.
We're back in Daytona. One of the riders we expected great things from here in the 125 main was John Dowd, number 27. Well, he's currently in the 8th spot. Up in front of him, 121, Jason Edwards. And in 6th position, number 46, Barry Karsten.
And here's where physical condition starts to play a role, because these riders, of course, will run their heat races, and now they've got a long race here in the feature, and the tougher, stronger, lighter riders are going to be in an advantage here as this race unfolds.
And interesting, the word heard most often in any motocross pit is train. How have you been training? Where have you been training? How long have you been training? They don't talk about the motorcycles. It's all about the physical side of this sport. They let the mechanics worry about the machine.
very, very demanding. No question about it. Oh, we got a rider down. That is